Welcome to my new series where I will teach you about all the Norwegian municipality high points. This series is inspired by Chicago Geographer's series about country high points. As I am an avid peak collector from Norway, I wanted to make a similar series. Norway has 357 municipalities as of 2024, and of those there are 334 high points. Some are sheer high points. Because of how many municipalities there are, I will be starting from the lowest and go to the highest, going from 0 to 500 meters in this video. I hope you enjoy.
The first one on this list is the shortest of them all. At a staggering 28 meters, I is the tallest point in Kvitsøy, the smallest municipality and land area as well. This high point is not located on the main island, but a smaller one a bit northeast. The island is a bird sanctuary, and from April 18 to August 1st, it is prohibited to enter this island. Next one, Fadjebjørn, meaning the Fadje bear. This high point is located on a small island municipality called Fadje. The summit is easily accessible with a well-made trail, though it's only a 200-meter walk from the road. The summit has a panoramic view over the entire island and towards the most known landmark in the area, the Hellise Lighthouse. Going up north, we have the tallest point in Smøla. Ramdalshaugen is a 70-meter high point located on a smaller island of Kuli. There are no trails to the summit, but it's quite easy to reach. This is one of the few places in Smøla where you can view the whole municipality. Then we head over to the least populated municipality in Norway, Utsira. The highest point on the island is at Aralsetu, at 71 meters above sea level. This is right next to the famous Utsira lighthouse and is easy to access. Heading east, the highest point in Vale municipality is Bankerøykollen, at 73 meters above sea level. A gravel road goes mostly up to the peak and the summit is marked by a metal pole in the ground. This is a really easy high point to visit. Going west to Randaberg, where the highest point is on Signalhaugen at 75 meters. The summit is really easy to visit as there are a lot of tractor roads passing by. There is nothing on the summit marking the tallest point and the view is not the best. Back to the island, the tallest point in Frøya municipality is Besselvassheia, 76 meters above sea level. It got its name in 2009. It was previously known as just a mountain. There is a marked trail going all the way up to the summit. Next up is Vetan in Færder. This high point is barely below 100 meters above sea level. The peak is easily accessible as a road goes all the way up. There is a sign with the mountain's name by the lookout. Back to the western coast of Sola municipality, Skjærberget. The first high point on this list about 100 meters at 101.5 meters above sea level. This peak can be reached via multiple trails from all directions. There's a flagpole and a wind arrow on the summit. The view is also pretty good for its height. 15 kilometers further south is the next high point. Tinghaug at 102 meters above sea level is the tallest point in Klepp municipality. This high point is a burial mound. There are other burial mounds around. A 100-meter long trail goes all the way up. Heading north again, we get to Litlåsfjellet at 109 meters. This is the highest point in Austria municipality. The summit is forested, so there is no view. There's a wooden marker at the highest point and the road goes mostly up to it. Up north we have the first high point in Nordland County. The highest point in Herøy municipality is Vardøyfjellet at 119 meters. This is also the first peak on this list with a prominence of more than 100 meters. This high point is not the most accessible as a boat is required to get to the island. There are no trails, but the view from the top is pretty good. The tallest point in Fredrikstad is Østentor, located 5 kilometers west from the city of Fredrikstad. Its height is 119 meters and has a burial mound by the summit as well as ruins from the Second World War. A few trails pass by this high point. Slightly further north is the highest point in Råde at 126 meters. This peak is rather inaccessible as there are no trails going to it. The hike is still not that long or difficult. A cairn marks the highest point. A bit west is the highest point in Moss. The peak is up 140 meters above sea level and is really easy to visit. Due to its vicinity to the city of Moss, there are dozens of hiking trails going up or around. Continuing along the Oslofjord we have Høyåsen, the highest point in Vestby. It is 140 meters high and is located on a flat forested hill. There are a few trails passing by, but none are going all the way up. On the other side of the fjord is the highest point in Horten, Skjæranåsen. It is located west of the city of Horten. There is a trail going up to the highest point of 157 meters, and a few signs and a hiking logbook stand on the top. Going back to the western coast, the highest point in Karmøy Municipality is Dyrafjell at 171 meters. This peak is not located on the actual island of Karmøy, but instead on the mainland part of the municipality. This area is full of hiking trails, and reaching the top is pretty easy. The view from the top is also great. Back east, the highest point in Ås is a point on Bollerudåsen, located right next to the city of Ski. The actual high point is on a slope between the water tanks that are on this hill. A road goes all the way up, and a trail passes by the high point. A bit north to Headland, a literal translation of the municipality of Nesodden, we find Tuåsen, a 215-meter high point a few kilometers south of Headland, the town of Nesoddangen. Not joking. The summit has a radio tower built by the Germans during World War II, and a trail goes over the peak. The tallest point in Sarpsborg is Gassgiveren, not sure how to pronounce it. It is located 216 meters above sea level and is in the hiking area north of the city of Sarpsborg. A trigonometric point mark is on the summit. A few kilometers north is the highest point in Skiptvet, a nameless point 223 meters above sea level. There are no trails leading up to this forested and boggy hill, so it's not the easiest to visit. There is nothing marking the summit. This high point is also just less than a kilometer from another municipality's high point. Speaking of, the highest point in Våler municipality is Taraldrudåsen. It's 225 meters tall and lies next to a cabin area. There's a watchtower on the summit. Back to island high points. The tallest point in Frogn municipality is Varden, located on Håøya. Since this high point is on an uninhabited island, it can be difficult to visit for non-boat owners. A trail goes over the high point, and on the summit there's a logbook. Western coast. The tallest point on Askøy is called Bergsvarden at 234 meters. This is a popular hiking destination locally, as the trails are really well made with boardwalk, shelters, benches and viewpoints. The summit has a pavilion and a cairn, and you can see the city of Bergen from the top. The first high point on this list in southern Norway is Hisåsen, the tallest point in Lillesand at 235 meters. This high point can be reached by walking up a road and then a marked trail, and on the summit lies a big cairn. The highest point in Austevoll municipality is on the 243 meter tall peak called Loddo. This high point is easily accessible with a gravel road going most of the way up, with staircases and boardwalks continuing the rest of the way. There's a watchtower on the summit, and a few hundred meters west is the day trip cabin for the municipality. These can be found in each western coast municipality pre-merging. Back south, the highest point in Risør is Espehaugen at 243 meters as well. No trails lead to the summit, but it's not difficult to get up. A small cairn marks the top. Klauv is the tallest mountain in Haugesund at 246 meters. This is a really easy high point to visit thanks to the trail that goes from the south. The summit is marked by a cairn, and you get a panoramic view of the area. The tallest point in Halden is a tie between two peaks that have the same height, between around 259 meters above sea level. Most people believe it's the western peak, Geiteriggen, but there are plans to remeasure the eastern peak, Bufarshaugen. The summit of Geiteriggen is marked with a rock and remains of a fallen bird watchtower. Heading up to the steep mountains in the north, Storfjellet at 259 meters is the tallest mountain in Little Rust. Rust is a group of islands far out in the sea not too far from the Lofoten archipelago. This high point requires a boat to get to, and the ascent can be tricky as there is a single steep grassy slope going up to the plateau. The summit is marked with a cairn. To southern Norway, the highest point in Tvedestrand is Ansmidheia at 260 meters. A trail goes most of the way up, with the last part being off-trail. The top is marked with a metal bolt in the ground. Not far away, in Arendal, the highest point is Høgsteinheia. It is located west of the city of Arendal on the border of the municipality. The high point is at 268 meters and is a few meters east of the highest point on the mountain. A large rock marks the highest point. Just a few kilometers from the Swedish border is Högestan, the highest point in Aremark municipality. It is 274 meters high and is part of a forested hilly area. A trail passes through the high point and a cairn marks the summit.
The highest point in former Søgne municipality is Bjørtheia at 278 meters.
This wasn't supposed to be on this list, but I will include it anyway. The summit is easily accessible with a well-marked trail, and there are amenities on the top such as a grill and a teepee. In Bamble Municipality, the highest point is the 288-meter tall Hörsfjäll. Located west of the town of Stathalle, it is a relatively easy top to reach, with multiple trails going all the way up to the summit, which is marked with a cairn. Back west we have one of the most accessible high points on this list, Boknafjellet. It is located in Bokn Municipality and is 293 meters high. There's a road leading all the way up to the summit tower, and from the top you have a view over one of the largest fjords in the country. The highest point in Nordre Follo is Tømmerås at 313 meters, the first about 300 meters on this list. It is like most high points around Oslo, pretty easy to visit as multiple wide trails lead to it. On the summit there's a map and a viewpoint. At the same height, 330 meters, Kopperudtoppen is the highest point in Ullensaker municipality. The summit is a hiking destination that has a wash shower and a lean-to. First sheer high point on this list is Linnekleppen, a 325-meter high point in both Rakkestad and Marken municipality. The summit has a tower and a lot of carved sculptures to look at. Multiple trains lead up to the summit from all around. At 329 meters, the highest point in Kragerø is Store Valefjell, a small forested mountain that is easy to visit. The top is marked with a large cairn. The first county high point as well as municipality high point is Vikjanhøgda, the highest point in Indre Østfold municipality and Østfold county. It is 331 meters high and has a logbook on the top.
The most impressive looking high point and probably the hardest to climb is Tränstaven in Træna municipality. Not only is it post access only, but unique climbing experience and gear just to get to the top. It is only 336 meters high. Liaton is also a steep high point when ascending from certain directions. At 341 meters it is the highest point in Øygarden municipality. There are multiple steep trails going up to the summit, which is marked with a cairn on sign. The highest point in Lillestrøm is the 347 meter high Bjørnholen. The summit is marked with a sign and multiple trails go to the top. Fjerdingen at 360 meters is the highest point in Porsgrunn. Located right next to the city of Porsgrunn, the peak is pretty accessible with a hiking trail going all the way up. A cairn with a sign marks the top. Further southwest to Grimstad, where the highest point is somewhere on Dobbedalsheia. There are 2 points at 361.6 meters, but the eastern point has been considered the tallest. No trails lead up to this peak. The tallest hill in Lørenskog is the 361 meter high Svartåsen, located east of Oslo. It can be visited by a hiking trail from the west. A cairn marks the top. Going north to the Trondheim fjord, we have the highest point in Frosta municipality. A point 100 meters southwest from Storeheia that is 368 meters above sea level. The trail up to the top is steep, but it has ropes to help hikers get up. A cairn marks the high point. Back south is Vardåsen, the highest point in Enebakk at 374 meters. There is a fireplace at the top and it has a great view over the lowlands. Some rotten logs mark the top. A bit east is the highest point in Aurskog-Høland, a 393 meter high point named the Summer Barn hilltop. Sommerfjellstoppen is easy to access as a gravel road goes all the way up to the nearby tower. A flag marks the top. A bit west again to Rælingen, where 398 meter tall Barlindåsen is the highest. Just like other peaks near Oslo, this one has a trail going all the way up. On the top there's a sign, logbook and a viewpoint. In Sandefjord municipality, the highest point is Brånafjell at 399 meters. This became the high point of Sandefjord after they combined with 2 other municipalities on January 1st, 2017. There is a sign on the top. The highest point in Tønsberg is Snippanna, is just shy of 400 meters. A forest road goes most of the way to the summit. There's a sign and a logbook by a viewpoint as well as a watchtower further north. Preikestolen, not to be confused with the famous Preikestolen in Sandnes, is the highest point in Gjerdrum municipality at 412 meters. It can be reached by hiking from north or south on hiking trails, and the top is marked with a sign. In Kristiansand, the highest point is on the 440 meter tall Havsåsknuten. Multiple trails lead to the summit where you have a panoramic view. A sign marks the highest point. Going west again, the highest point in Hå municipality is at 416 meters. This high point is on the slope of another high point just 40 meters away. The name of the mountain is Brusaknuten. The highest point in Time municipality is on the actual summit at 430 meters. This peak has a panoramic view out towards the ocean and to the surrounding wind turbine farms. A large cairn with a sign marks the top. Trollvassnibba is the tallest mountain in Sverige at 432 meters. This mountain has multiple trails with many going to the summit. It is also really prominent, so the view is extremely good. A cairn marks the summit. The highest point in Eidsvoll municipality is the 434 meter tall Hornskjølberget. On this mountain there is a massive watchtower at the top, and trails lead up to the top from all directions. Going north to the tallest mountain in Værøy is Nordlandsnupen at 450 meters above sea level. Like Rust from earlier, this is a mountain high point located far from the mainland. But this peak is easier to summit than other peaks in this area, as a trail goes all the way up along a steep drop. A large cairn is on the top. In Asker municipality, the highest point is Bergsåsen or Hagahogge. This 458 meter tall mountain is just next to the city of Asker, meaning there are a lot of good trails going up. The top has a wide view over the lowlands. Sigjo is the tallest mountain in Bømlo at 474 meters. This mountain really stands out as it is the only mountain in this municipality that is taller than 200 meters. This mountain has well-made trails including a Sherpa staircase trail from northeast. I've been up here and it's definitely worth visiting. In Farsund, we have the 487 meter tall Liefjellet. This peak is just off trail from a nearby trail and has a cairn marking the highest point. Going all the way to northeastern Norway, the highest point in Vardø is Grythaugen at 492 meters. This is the easternmost high point in Norway. A cairn stands on the top. The highest point in Ørland municipality is the 492 meter high Saxotklumpen. This high point can be reached via the roads in the wind turbine farm or on a trail from the south. A cairn marks the summit, where you get a good view over the municipality. Right next to the city of Molde is the highest point in Aukra municipality. It is 493 meters tall and has a stunning view towards the outer islands along the coast. A steep trail goes up to the high point, which is marked with a cairn. Going back to northeastern Norway is Garanasjokka, which is the tallest mountain in Sør-Varanger at 497 meters. This is probably the most difficult in terms of distance in this video. The hike back and forth is 14 kilometers. The trail is marked for both pedestrians and skiers. The summit has a small cairn and there is a radar tower nearby. We started with an island, let's end with one too. The tallest mountain in Giske is Storhorn at 497 meters. This hike is really steep as the mountain is a plateau, but the view is totally worth it. The location of the mountain creates a spectacular view over the ocean and looking back inland. There is also a massive lake that you would never expect to find here. Sherpa stairs have also been built up to this peak. Thank you so much for watching.